Blue Sparrow, the missile that simulates the threats of tomorrow. In the ever-evolving world of missile defense, accuracy is survival. Nations invest billions in defensive shields, radars, interceptors, and command systems, but none of it matters unless these defenses can be tested against the types of ballistic threats they are designed to stop. This is where the Blue Sparrow missile enters the story. The Blue Sparrow is not a weapon designed to destroy cities, enemy ships, or aircraft. It is something far more unusual. A target missile. A missile built not to strike but to be struck. Created to simulate some of the most dangerous ballistic threats of the modern world, the Blue Sparrow plays a crucial role in ensuring that missile defense shields work at the moment when they are needed most. Developed by Rafael Advanced Defense Systems, the missile represents one of Israel's most advanced aerospace innovations. Created during a period of rising missile threats in the Middle East, Blue Sparrow was designed to mimic the flight patterns, speeds, and radar signatures of medium-range ballistic missiles. Its purpose: to help test and validate Israel's Arrow anti-ballistic missile system. To understand why Blue Sparrow is so important, we must travel back to the era when missile defense became not just a military ambition, but a strategic necessity. As ballistic missile technology proliferated, ranging from short-range rockets to medium and long-range systems, Israel found itself surrounded by adversaries who were rapidly increasing their missile capabilities. To defend its population centers, infrastructure, and strategic assets, Israel developed the multi-layered defense system known today as Iron Dome, David's Sling, Arrow 2, and Arrow 3. But building an interceptor is not enough. Defense systems must be tested under realistic conditions that stress the radars, simulate re-entry velocities, and create environments that closely mirror an actual attack. This is where the Blue Sparrow comes in. It is the phantom enemy, the missile that pretends to be the threat so the defense systems can practice destroying it. The Blue Sparrow is launched from an aircraft, usually a F-15 or F-16, high above the Mediterranean Sea. From this altitude, the missile can be deployed on a trajectory that resembles a ballistic missile launched from hundreds of kilometers away. The aircraft themselves serve as stand-ins for ground-based launch points, allowing the missile to accurately simulate the steep climbs, coast phases, and high-speed re-entry profiles typical of modern ballistic threats. The Blue Sparrow comes equipped with advanced onboard systems that allow engineers to shape its trajectory with remarkable precision. It can replicate the radar cross-section, infrared signature, and velocity profile of enemy missiles. This makes it an invaluable asset for tests of the Arrow missile system, which relies on high-precision tracking data to launch interceptors. Unlike operational weapons, the Blue Sparrow is not built with a warhead. Instead, its purpose is purely experimental. However, it carries sophisticated telemetry packages that broadcast real-time data during flight. Engineers on the ground can analyze every second of the missile's journey, compare it to expected trajectories, examine radar reflection patterns, and test how missile defense batteries respond. In many ways, Blue Sparrow represents the intersection of aerospace engineering and strategic necessity. Its launches are carefully coordinated events involving fighter aircraft, naval vessels, radar stations, and interceptor batteries across multiple regions. Each test requires intense planning, flawless coordination, and precise control. The missile itself has been upgraded over the years. Earlier versions simulated shorter-range ballistic threats, while more advanced versions, some known as Silver Sparrow and Black Sparrow, simulate longer-range and more complex missile threats. The Blue Sparrow sits within this family as a key test vehicle for mid-tier ballistic simulations. During a typical flight, the Blue Sparrow is released from the aircraft, ignites its booster, and begins a steep climb to the upper atmosphere. Once it reaches its desired altitude, the missile follows a ballistic arc downward, reaching extremely high velocities. This mimics what an actual medium-range ballistic missile would do, and that is where the Arrow defense system steps in. For engineers, a successful test is measured in milliseconds. The missile defense radar must detect the Blue Sparrow during its high-speed descent, track it precisely, calculate its trajectory, and launch an interceptor at exactly the right moment. The interceptor then must collide with the target at hypersonic speeds, an action often described as hitting a bullet with another bullet. The Blue Sparrow has helped validate the Arrow system in numerous successful live-fire tests. Each time, the missile defense system's radars and interceptors were pushed to their limits. Each test brought improvements in algorithms, tracking power, sensor fusion, and interceptor accuracy. Each test made Israel's defensive umbrella stronger. It is important to recognize that a target missile like the Blue Sparrow is not just a piece of technology. It is part of a complex ecosystem that includes radars, command centers, interceptors, simulation computers, and military personnel. Without accurate test targets, none of this infrastructure can be trusted in real-world conditions. The missile may never strike an enemy, but its contribution to national defense is profound. By simulating the threats of the future, Blue Sparrow helps ensure that defensive systems remain one step ahead. It ensures that the defenders are ready long before any real missile ever appears on radar. In aviation and missile defense communities, the Blue Sparrow is seen as a symbol of innovation, a missile designed not for destruction, but for preparation. Every flight, every launch, every test contributes to the safety of millions. It is a missile that protects without ever harming, a tool of defense in the purest sense. As global threats evolve and ballistic missile technology advances, the Blue Sparrow's role becomes even more important. Nations around the world watch these missile defense tests closely, learning from the outcomes, studying the technologies involved, and applying these lessons to their own defensive systems. The Blue Sparrow may not be as well known as the missiles it simulates, but in the world of missile defense, it is one of the most important tools of the modern age. Because before any missile defense shield can protect a nation, it must first prove itself. And that proof begins with Blue Sparrow.